Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're still in the classic pound cake vein and we're doing an old-fashioned buttermilk pound cake today. So first we're going to start by using 3 cups of our Swans down cake flour. And to that I've added 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. So once I added these 2 ingredients to my 3 cups of flour, I sifted it one more time. Now Swans Down comes pre-sifted for you when you purchase it in the box. It's already sifted. But once I add those 2 ingredients, I like to sift just one more time. Of course, we're using 3 cups of sugar. I have 5 eggs, 5 large eggs that are room temperature, and I've already cracked them. And then I have 3 sticks of unsalted softened butter that is also room temperature. And then of course we have buttermilk as our liquid today, and this is 1 cup. Now for my extracts or flavorings, I'm going to add some lemon and some pure lemon and pure vanilla. And then I'm also going to do just a smidget of my cream bouquet. Alright. And then we're going to do, honey, I'm doing my regular glaze. Now that sugar glaze we did last time, y'all can have that because I need to see some stuff. I need to see my glaze. So we're doing a powdered sugar glaze with just a little bit of milk, okay? And then you guys will see that at the end. Is that everything? Of course, I've thoroughly washed my hands. Don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands, because that's just nasty, okay? Now, before we get started, one thing. You guys, you all are the best. I don't know what wonderful subscriber sent me this Flex Edge beater. And I'm sure you sent it for my new mixer, because I'm not used to having to scrape down my bowl, so I'm having to do that. But it has the little the rubber around the edge, but it's too big, so it does fit on my mixer, but it touches the bottom of the bowl, and it's making it strain and kind of bump around to try to turn. So I am so disappointed, but it's too large, so I don't know who sent it. You know who you are. Send me an email. Maybe I can get it back to you, or we can figure out. I don't know if they make them a little bit smaller. I don't know, but I am so disappointed that I cannot use this, because I thought I was going to be able to use it today, but I cannot, because honey, it's trying to tear my glass mixing bowl up. Okay, so all right. But I just wanted to say that I so appreciate you sending it to me. It just brought tears to my eyes. Y'all are just the best. Y'all are so thoughtful. But again, I cannot use it. So hopefully we can figure something out to where we can get it to working. Or like I said, I can get it back to you at least. All right? Okay, let's start getting this cake mixed up. I'm starting by adding my 3 sticks of softened, unsalted butter to my mixing bowl. And once we get started, I'm just going to turn it on just a few seconds just to get the butter mixed up first. And then I'm going to slowly start adding my 3 cups of sugar. Now once I get all of that sugar added, I'm going to cream this butter and sugar for about 10 minutes until it becomes light and fluffy. And you'll actually be able to see how the color changes with the butter and the sugar, and it's going to get lighter. You do not want to hear those sugar crystals mixing around in the bottom of your mixing bowl, so you cannot rush this process. I set a timer, 10 minutes. I do it every time. Now, if you don't take your time and do this process as long as you need to do it, it can really affect your cake. It can make it dense. It can make your cake fall. You guys, this is very, very important when you're mixing up a cake, okay? So just set the timer and go do something else while it's creaming. And I usually cream with this mixer. I usually turn it up to about 7 to do my creaming of my butter and sugar. Once that butter and sugar is creamed, I'm going to come back because I like for you to see exactly how it looks creamed before I start adding my eggs. So let me get this butter and sugar creamed, and then we will be back to talk about what we're going to do next. Alright, we are finished creaming, and this is what I mean when I say light and fluffy. Look how fluffy that is, okay? And you see how it's lightened up in color. So that's exactly what we want. Now during this process, about halfway through my creaming process, I stopped and I scraped down my bowl. I did that twice. You can see here how the butter and sugar is just, some of it is just laying up against the side of that bowl, and once it was slung up against the side of the bowl, it's not getting creamed anymore. So make sure you stop and scrape down the sides of your bowl. Okay. Now it's time to start adding the eggs, and we're going to add these eggs one at a time, and I usually mix just a few seconds, just enough to kind of not see the yellow. It may not be totally gone, but for the most part, that's about how long I mix it. Now sometimes when I'm trying to pour in one egg, sometimes 2 eggs fall in, and then I'll have to mix that one, you know, just a few seconds longer because 2 eggs fell in as opposed to 1. But other than that, that's what we want to do, so it doesn't take long to mix in our eggs. Now once we get the eggs mixed in, then we're going to start with our dry and wet ingredients. You always want to start with your dry, which is your flour, and you want to end with your dry. And we're going to alternate it with this milk. So what I'm going to go on and do right now is I like to just go on and put my extracts in, and then that way that's already done, okay? So we're going to start with our vanilla. And we're going to put in a little vanilla, maybe a couple of teaspoons. Tablespoon, whatever you like. And you can also choose the flavorings that you want to do for this cake. You don't have to use lemon and vanilla. If you prefer something else, then by all means use whatever you like. Okay, that's my lemon. And then we're going to do just about a teaspoon of my cream bouquet. Alright, so let's recap before I turn this mixer back on. We're going to add the eggs one at a time, and you're gonna see me doing that. Once the eggs are added, then I'm just stirring up these extracts in this milk a little bit. But after I add the eggs, then I'm going to start adding the flour and alternating with my buttermilk, okay? We're going to start with flour and end with flour. Now you'll see me add that first little bit of flour, then add some milk. I won't show you that entire back and forth process. You'll see me ending by adding that little bit of flour. Okay? Alright, so once we get this done, then we're going to be ready to bake. My oven is preheating to 325 degrees, so it should be ready momentarily. Also, you do not want to overmix during this process. That too could cause complications with your cake and how it bakes, okay? Don't over mix. We want to mix just enough to kind of get it incorporated, but we're not trying to get it silky smooth. So this process doesn't take as long as it did to cream the butter and sugar. It only takes a few minutes, okay? Now I'm just going to go around the edge of my bowl again to make sure we've got everything thoroughly mixed up. I did stop my mixer and scrape down my bowl a couple more times because what was happening is some of the flour was hanging out up here around the top of the bowl, okay? So you always want to make sure you scrape down your bowl. And what I've noticed is since I've not been using like regular milk, my batter is really thick when I do my pound cakes. So normally I like to get to pouring and kind of zoom in, but when I use the cheese, cream cheese, or this buttermilk, or even sour cream, it's not as pourable, and I have to kind of plop it in here. So for those of you that enjoy watching the batter pour, you know, we're kind of thick, and this bowl is heavy, so we're just having to plop. And I also can't wait to see if my family can tell the difference. What I know, since I've been baking so many cakes here the past year or longer, they really like the cakes that are made with cream cheese. And they're just moist. So they love the cream cheese. So I'm going to be curious. I can't wait for them to try it. Especially that dude number one of mine, aka my husband. since he think he knows something about cakes these days and being moist. I can't wait to see if he can really tell the difference in these cakes. And if you guys have not seen the 5 flavor pound cake and the 7 flavor, check those out. And the reason I did those back to back was because I wanted to really be able to taste the difference in the 5 flavors as opposed to, or shall I say, the 7 flavors as opposed to the 5 flavors. And I really could tell a difference too. And then too, we totally switched up those flavors. So that's why I did them back to back, because I wanted the flavors to be kind of, you know, the taste to be kind of fresh in my mind. Oh yeah, that bowl is heavy. That's certainly an arm workout. Now we're trying to just get our batter as level as possible. Try to smooth it out a little bit. My oven is ready. I know I'm going to eat me a little bit of batter. Looks like I have. Good little bit on that beater. Does anybody else eat batter? If you guys are new to the family, welcome. I love a glaze and I love cake batter. Okay. Trying to get this level. And then we hit it under the bottom to release the air bubbles or air pockets. Some people drop it on their counters. Whatever floats your boat. I wouldn't advise that if you have granite countertops. Okay. Alright, we're going in. I bake my cakes. I adjust my rack to where it's in the middle of my oven. And I bake my cakes in the middle of my oven, okay? So we are set on 325. I'm going to set my timer for an hour and 15 minutes, but I'll probably check it at about an hour and 5-10 minutes, okay? If I need more time, I'll leave it in there. If not, I'll take it out. Okay, we baked about an hour and 10 minutes. So now we're going to let it cool for another 10 minutes before we flip. In the meantime, we're going to work on a glaze. And I'm ready for another heavy glaze, if you will. Okay. I never measure. This may be about about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of powdered sugar. I also never use a mixer. I always do this by hand because it's just really quick. It's a good arm workout. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of lemon, and a little bit of cream bouquet. And to that, we're just going to add a little bit of milk. Always add a little at a time, because once you add too much, you can't get it out. And if it's too thin, then you have to add more powdered sugar to compensate. I also like to start off by having it a little thick, because that helps me get it smooth. Okay? Doesn't take long at all. Just mix, 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 mix. And just that quick, we have glaze. Just like that. Okay? So we're gonna let this cake continue to cool. And then we will flip it. Looks like it has about another 8 minutes. Okie dokie. We stuck just a little bit. That, you see that right in there? But I'm going to have a thick glaze, so it should pretty much cover it. So hopefully it won't look too bad. Okay, so we're gonna let it cool. I'm gonna let it like cool because I'm not ready to glaze it yet. It is too hot. Too hot. Okay. So we will. It's gonna be sitting here for a while before we glaze because it's gonna be totally cool. Okay. All right, we are glazing. Let's see. Old-fashioned buttermilk pound cake with my heavy glaze and just a little extra glaze down in the hole.
Hey everybody!
Hey, it is time. What you got your nose twisted and turned for?
That's a heavier glaze, isn't it?
Yes, I went back to my heavy glaze. I'm a glaze girl.
Yes, you are glaze girl.
That's right. Little thin glaze. Listen. Go big or go home. Hey.
Well, why my piece small?
Listen, because I'm helping you help yourself. I keep telling you that. You done told the people and the family you gonna do good.
I'm gonna do good, Donna.
Yeah, well,
I didn't say I was gonna do good all the time.
Well, you need to do good. You need to do good most of the time.
I'm gonna do good a lot of times. I'm gonna do good a lot of times. I promise. Okay, No, I'm doing good. I gotta watch myself. Make sure I'm around here, girl. I want to make sure that you have. Well, I'm gonna do good. Why you keep taking the back of the...
I like that corner, that back corner. That's the best part.
You take all the icing off the thing and then give me... Okay, you know what?
I'm pretty good.
You know
Sometimes people complaining to me.
I'm not complaining. I don't do complaining. Complaining is for people that complain. I don't complain because I'm not a complainer. Hold on. Is it...
This old school.
What flavor is it?
Y'all, grandma made this cake. Great grandma. Let me get it close so y'all can see it. Don't look at me. Oh, it didn't sound right. You are crazy. That's what, listen, yeah, this one. Listen, boy, could you not look at me? You are crazy. Come on back now. Listen, boy, you a trip. Move to the right a little bit. Okay, that's gonna have to work. Well, you guys, great grandma did that. I think that's it, you guys, for the classic pound cakes. I think so. If I think of something else, I'll do another one. If not, we're gonna move on to something else. All right? You good, baby? helping you help yourself.
I don't need-
You don't want to say what?
Help me a little less. I need a little less help.
You don't want no help.
You done kid. I got it, mama. I got it.
You got it. Okay. But look, you guys. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. And shake something. Shake something. Shake something. Shake something. You know, when you hit that notification bell, it shakes.
You hit the nosy.
Hit the nosy.
You want to know what's going on? You want to be nosy? Well, hit the nosy.
You want to come over here and see how you be acting. Alright, you guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We already look forward to you joining us again next time. Bye.